The Chosen Season 4 ended on a serious, intense note. The last scene of Season 4, Episode 8 was awesome and epic, and it's going to lead right into the next season, Season 5, which takes place in Holy Week. Quick warning before we get started with this video, if you have not seen The Chosen Season 4, Episodes 1 through 8, as the full season is now officially in theaters, and it is coming to the Chosen app very soon, I would go ahead and recommend you watch The Chosen in any capacity, the Season 4 finale, before you come and watch this video. I promise you'll be able to watch it soon because the Chosen episodes are coming to the app soon. But until then, I would recommend, if you don't want to see any spoilers or hear anything about the specifics of what happens in The Chosen Season 4, Episode 8, I would go ahead and recommend you skip this video, come back later. But let's go ahead and roll that intro. Chosen Season 4 was epic, awesome, and thought-provoking, as it always is, and Season 4, the finale, was no different. Now, we all know Season 4, Episode 7 was also really cool, with the beginning scene with Mary and Matthew, and the finale, ending monologue with Mary's poem that she wrote. But what we're here to talk about today is the ending of the Chosen Season 4, the very last scene, what it means for next season, and how it ties into that intro bit, the beginning with King David. Now, all of this revolves around this bridle that King David shows to his son Daniel, who's mentioned in 1 Chronicles and in 2 Samuel. He shows his second son the meaning of Passover, and he shows him the significance of, back to the story of Moses and the Egyptians, to where the 10th plague that God sent onto Egypt over, to free the Israelites, was that he sent the angel of death throughout the city of Egypt, and he told the Israelites to paint the blood of a spotless lamb over their doorpost, and the angel of death would pass over them and then not kill their firstborn son. So God explains the significance of the Passover story to his second son, Daniel. And then he brings out this bridle, this donkey bridle, which is a family heirloom that is then passed down through King David's family to then now it gets to Jesus. This is something that we saw introduced in Season 3, Episode 3, Physician Heal Yourself, where Joseph gives this bridle to Jesus and tells him the significance of it, that it was passed down from their family. It was used by one of their ancestors riding out of Egypt when the Israelites escaped captivity and slavery in Egypt. And Jesus now uses it for, as we all suspected, bridling the donkey that he then uses to ride into Jerusalem for the triumphal entry as described in John 12. And that whole scene goes down that we're going to see in Season 5, Episode 1, where Jesus, rides in and all of the people are waving palm branches and putting down cloaks on the floor and saying, Hosanna, Hosanna. The classic Bible story. That is where Season 5 is going to pick up. I was kind of hoping that Season 4 would end with at least a little bit more of the triumphal entry, but I definitely see why they did what they did now at the end of Season 4, Episode 8, where we just see Jesus starting to ride down to Jerusalem, and this is basically just the beginning of the end. So, what does this mean for the future of the Chosen? Well, I think the donkey bridle was just signifying the fact that Jesus is the fulfillment of many prophecies, and many events and many foretellings and prophecies are all fulfilled in Jesus. And there's many traditions and family prospects that have been handed down and passed down for generations, and the Israelites have been trusting and hoping that God would bring them their Messiah, and now that is fulfilled in Jesus and their waiting is over. So Jesus is just the fulfillment of so many things. Now this bridle, this donkey bridle that has been passed down through Joseph's family and Jesus' ancestors to then now get to him. Obviously we don't find this anywhere in the Bible. This is not something that is mentioned in the scriptures or in the Gospels at all. But it is a fun storytelling mechanism and a cool allegorical tool that the Chosen uses to express all of the different ways that Jesus is the fulfillment of the prophecy. He is the Messiah. He is the Chosen One. He is the one to fulfill the law. And that is super duper cool. I love to see this storyline playing out in the Chosen Season 4. But so, what is the future of the Chosen Season 5? What can we expect next season? We can expect Holy Week. So Season 5 is Holy Week, as we all know. Season 6 is the crucifixion, and Season 7 is the resurrection. So Holy Week, there is a lot that happens in the Gospels as we get closer to Holy Week. The timeline of how the show is playing out is pretty much more or less how it plays out in the Gospels. I mean, this basically almost the second half of the book of John is just about events that happened in Holy Week. There's so much more that we learn about that is happening in the week of Passover, in this Holy Week where the week that Jesus is crucified. All of that happens within 7 days, but there's so much more detail and events that are recorded that happened. So in Season 5, there's going to be a lot more events, and they're going to really go slow and take their time to encompass everything, because they're spending an entire season on Holy Week, which is pretty exciting and pretty cool. I don't know exactly how Season 6 will play out with the crucifixion, that one singular event being played out over a whole season. That'll be also interesting to see how much they explore with that. And there's still so much more to explore with these characters in season 4 finale. We got the return of some fan favorite characters like Veronica or Jesse. Gaius made a brief cameo and showed up again. And there's just Joanna is now fully embracing, Jesus and his disciples. There's so many great, cheerful moments in the chosen season 4 finale. But now I think we're gonna get way more into the grief and the sadness because this is the last week of the life of Jesus before, he's killed, but then he resurrects later, as we all know. But this donkey bridle, the fulfillment of all the prophecies that Jesus is, all tying it together with a cool storytelling mechanism and an allegorical, metaphorical sense, and to show you how much Jesus really is fulfilling these prophecies, and he really is, without a doubt, the chosen one, fulfilling everything that all of the old prophets said the Messiah would be. Just the Israelites themselves missed what exactly was happening. All that is super awesome to see in the Chosen season 4, and to give us an insight into how the people of the first century were all thinking about Jesus, how they viewed him, and everyone kind of got a little bit of a wrong idea, even his disciples, as Jesus grows more frustrated about as we get to the end of this season. So this season was epic. Season 4 was amazing. I'm so excited for it to come to the app, for everyone to see it. And I know that probably if you made it this far to the end of the video, you've seen it already. So be sure to let me know what you thought of the Season 4 finale down below in the comments. All of this stuff, the donkey bridle, the triumphal entry, Season 5 Holy Week, all of the new surprising cameos you got in the Season 4 finale, the death and resurrection of Lazarus, that was also a really cool scene. We're going to talk about all of this stuff when these episodes start coming to the app and everyone can see them, I promise you. So you're going to want to stay tuned for that. Be sure to subscribe to Against the Current A, The Chosen podcast, and turn on all notifications so you can be sure to stay updated whenever I post a new video. And I'll see you guys in my next video. Binge Jesus.